Okay, so we live. Peace to the family. My name is Brandon B. Dixon, and you're tuned into the Power of Ownership podcast. I got my guest host, Stephen Contreras, here.
Hey guys, how you doing?
All right, so let's get started real quickly. Um, First of all, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. We're going to introduce the show, and then we're going to get into the meat of the show. We're not going to keep y'all too long today. First of all, my name is Brandon B. Dixon. I'm a published author, serial entrepreneur, mortgage broker. My book, Sales the Nucleus of Any Profession, is out right now on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, so on and so forth. Just Google my name, Brandon B. Dixon, and it'll pop up, and you can purchase it right now. My guest host, Stephen Contreras, he's going to go ahead and introduce himself. I'm going to keep it brief today. So,
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, guys. Stephen Contreras here, a geologist in Houston, Texas, kind of like a Renaissance man, studier of the arts and sciences, and here to spread peace and love and ownership. Try to help everyone out in these trying times, and hope you guys enjoy the show.
Gotcha. And the show itself, The Power of Ownership, if this is your first time tuning in, we talk about ownership not only of businesses and properties, intellectual properties, investment properties, stuff like that, but we also cross the bridge into the unseen realm, ownership of the mind, body, and soul to bring things to fruition here. So we kind of, that hybrid show, a lot of people talk about, ownership in the third dimension, but some people talk about spirituality, but nobody come with a pragmatic approach to bring the bridge between the both, and you need both in order to succeed. So we kind of that niche show. Let's go ahead and get into promoting a little bit. If you like what we're doing, if you're a long time, because we got a lot of listeners, we need more viewers, but we got a lot of listeners out there. Cash App us, $ the Power of Ownership. Stephen has his own Cash App, $ Stephen C 1234.
Yeah.
Also, this mortgage season, rates are starting to pick back up a little bit. I told you guys to take advantage while they were still record low. Now they're creeping up a little bit, but they're still kind of low. Go to applywithb.com. Get you started. If you want to book me for consultation, as far as, and I'm doing this a lot more this year. Consultation, you want to become a loan officer, you want to become a salesperson, you want to become anything, you need my advice and stuff like that, go ahead and book me, billionaireloanofficer.com. Or you can call me 832-775-8357 if it's about booking a session, or a question about a loan. At Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. And Stephen Contreras is at Stephen_Contreras_90. Also, I want to give a shout out to our current sponsor right now. We got 2 more sponsors in the bubble, but let's talk about www.houstonCondoSales.com. One of our sponsors. Go there if you're looking for townhouses, high rises, and condos in the Houston area. Take advantage right now while the rates are still low. So you're looking for a condo, you're looking for investment property. Instead of dumping that money, having to sit in the bank, go ahead, put a nice little chunk down, 20% down, and get you a condo and make your money work for you. Houston Condo Sales is the best condo site in the Houston area. It's by Houstonians for Houstonians. Also, we got 2 more sponsors coming in the bubble. I wanted to tell you about that earlier, Steve. We got two more sponsors. So sponsors are starting to come in. So let's get it to cracking. Let's get to going what we got going today. Since we're about halfway in. So I want to give a shout, first of all, to everybody that was affected by the cold winter. This past weekend, the power outage. People that lost people. We want to send our condolences. We want to send anybody that needs our help. We're willing to help or volunteer, whatever we need to do. But I want to send a shout and give condolences to people that lost lives and lost loved ones and this past weekend. Anything you want to say on that, Steve?
Sending out my thoughts and prayers to everyone here down in Texas. It was a crazy week, just in general. The power grid went out for the whole city for the most part for several days because of 2 inches of snow, which is just mind-boggling. We're the third largest metropolitan area in the United States, and we get crippled by a snowstorm. So just all my thoughts and prayers for everyone who's struggling in this time, who don't have any water or food, reach out, reach out to your local communities too. There's always food banks and food pantries, and people are always willing to help.
Right. So, yeah. So, yeah. Anybody that like need any advice or help, volunteer, hit the line. Then we'll go from there. But prior to this, we had the Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this, what was on my mind, and it all kind of goes together, is that you have really a couple of templates in life. You got either winners or losers. And one of my favorite hip hop lines all the time was by this guy, a UK artist by the name of Hayes. And he said, when we start off, winners and the losers all in the same lane. And he said the winners was the losers. They just learned how to play.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a simple line, but if you really look at it, it was really, really, really complex. We all start off the same. There's some people adapt and learn how to play the game, and other people choose to wallow and relish into the loss. The loss is just half of the story as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a matter of how you want to write your story. Do you want to write it from a loss standpoint, or do you want to write it from a victor standpoint? And I think it's addictive on each side. I think when you start to put wins together, people that start to win expect to win, and they crave that win. People that lose adapt to it, just like in any human behavior, they adapt to that lose and they expect to lose, and they crave the story of lose. Oh man, see, I had this, and it give a perfect example. My city and people that come from my city, we with the Saints losing, we actually, I think, prefer the fatal. I mean, the extravagant losses as opposed to winning the Super Bowl. And if you look at for the last 4 seasons, we had these crazy losses. The Minnesota Miracle, the PI, the pass interference thing. The shock, the over two upsets. Back to back. So the losing actually sometimes feel better to most people than the winning. So I'll let you chime in on that, because we're gonna kind of cut this show in half.
Yeah, shout out to the Super Bowl winning team. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's
right.
Crazy how things like that actually work. The winners and losers, the mentalities. It's kind of like a tricky thing. I like how you explained it as like the losers were winners, because it is true. You have to eventually learn how to win. Not everyone is born with that gift of just winning. You have to learn and adapt, like you said. And it's interesting too, because if you think about it as like just in general on energy and like a philosophical level, like you said, how the city expects to lose, that's actually a pretty big deal. If you have a collective conscious of people who are just in a general area and their mindset is a loser's mentality, then how can anyone actually break out of that little sphere of influence, especially if it's a large area, if a whole city is on that mentality, it's not a good path to be on, is pretty much what I'm getting at. So you want to always try to keep your mindset positive, positive and winning and learning how to win,
Right.
like you said earlier, right? Tom Brady, doesn't matter where he plays, he's still a winner. Kobe Bryant was a winner. All these people, they learn, they practice their craft, their art, and they learn how to win. They take the losses and they build and build and build. And, that's why I like to kind of think about it as Houston. I've seen Houston grow since I was a little kid. I've been here most of my life, and I've seen the city grow and grow and become like a winning society. But like to see what happened with this winter storm, like it puts questions in my head, like, that shouldn't be happening. That's a losing mentality, and so.
Right. Well, I actually had this conversation with a brother yesterday. Kind of the same thing. It's not about what happens to you in life. It's about how you react to it, how you alchemize the energy from your reaction. That's what it's all about. It's all about you are a creator, and it's all about what you're going to create as a result of the event that happened. Don't forget that energy. You can use that energy to create something negative, or you can alchemize that, learn from it, and then create something positive. It's all about how you react to it, because you're the buffer, and then your outcome, your experience, the dance, should it say, is your expression. So how will you express these events? And your dance, when you look back on the dance of your whole life, what will you see?
Yeah, and that's a hard one for, I think, a lot of people to grasp, that idea of looking at their life, like how many wins did I have and how many L's did I have?
Well, it's not about the wins or the L's. It's about your reaction to them. And again, winners and the losers start off in the same lane. The winners were the losers. They just learn how to play. So once you learn how to play the game, okay, I understand there's going to be something that's going to happen to me. How do I alchemize this, and how do I express this as a learning experience and express it positively? And then once you express it positively, you're going to think about, look at Tom Brady. This is the reason why I love Tom Brady. He was 7-5. You know, and he looked at it positive. Hey, I've been in this situation before. We just need to get hot right now.
Yeah.
We just need to get hot right now, and then we could go ahead and win it all. And it doesn't seem impossible, you know, when you've already done it before, or when your mind is already made up. You know, you want to create this moment. So a lot of people, it's either fear or lack of training. They want to create a moment where it's defeat in their mind, and the universe is going to give you what you want.
Yeah, and that's where what would you call it? Resolve, right? Your resolve has to be strong, especially in a winning mentality.
Right. Oh, and I want to say one other thing, as far as what you said earlier, as far as like coming from my hometown, New Orleans. Yes, it's hard to break out of that mentality, and that's why most people get sucked up and get stranded there. And the people that do escape make it real big. Master P, Tyler Perry. What's the guy named, the jazz musician? What's his name? Well, a couple of Branford Marsalis, and what's the other one name? A couple of big, but the people that make it big, you know, Lil Wayne and the Birdmans, and you know, to make it out of that mentality, and then they never come back. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
that's why I respect Drew Brees so much, because he gives so much back to the community.
Right. He gave, yeah, exactly. And people, you know, worried about his arm the last year, but he actually put that hope and try to bring the routine winner back to the actual region, you know?
Yeah.
So, and his work ethic is, you know, is one of the meanest work ethics I've ever seen. Is like, you got to work at this thing. It's not just an automatic thing. Nothing is automatic. Everything is a work and an intention, especially as a male, where, you know, everything you have is intentional. You got to intentionally force your will and dominate your area. It just is what it is.
Yeah, and that's an animal, and it's our natural instincts, you know, to be that it's like a pack of dogs, you know, who's like sledding in the snow. You know, everyone wants to be the Balto, you know, the head dog,
right?
You know, but with those responsibilities, you have to make sure you provide, looking for food and finding the food, because, you know, this one behind you wants to be top dog, or the one at the very end of the pack wants to be top dog, you know. So there's always that fight for the dominance in anything.
Well, this is the thing. I think, you know, if you look at the energies, the masculine and feminine energies, if you have all masculine energy, men will fall in the line in nature. You'll see the alphas and the betas, and they'll fall in the line for the greater good of the pack, or of the herd, of the collective. I think when you get feminine energy in there, when nobody wants to take lead and everybody wants to be equal, that's when you have that chaos. Mm-hmm. You know, in certain things, we need that masculine energy in order to get things accomplished. And men will always fall in line in order to survive.
Yeah,
I think that masculine, that feminine energy got introduced when And this is perfect, a perfect segue. I wanted to go there toward the end of the show anyway, so it's perfect. I think a lot of, especially not taking shots at your generation, but a lot of millennials on down have a lot of that energies intertwined and mixed together. It's too fluid, and they don't know how to turn off and turn on their energies in certain situations. So when you get that feminine energy in you wanna have a title or position, and you don't deserve it. You didn't work for it. You don't put out the work in order to get that position. So you want to be the head honcho. You want to be Vince McMahon, but you don't put in Vince McMahon type work.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be the head honcho, and you don't have the know-how to be the head honcho. And this happens to me even with family members. People, they want to be me, they want to have my success, but you don't put in that type of work. You just reflecting what I'm doing and then try to mimic what I'm doing, and it's not yielding the same results. Then you get emotional.
And there's no emotion in business. Everyone knows
right.
that.
Well, there's no emotion in it shouldn't be emotion in progression and wins and losses. This is a masculine type thing. It's black and white.
And when you say that, we're not talking about genders or anything like that. We're talking about
energy.
Energy, yeah.
Right.
So just for the audience, just to make clear,
Right. It's it's divine. And what I mean by masculine energy is the intent, the will to dominate, the actual instructions, the blueprints on the paper, the game plan. Yeah. Feminine energy is submission. It's creativity. It's the colors. It's the beauty. It's the look. The creativity. All right, let me take this blueprint and let me put some flowers over here, and it'll enhance it.
Yeah, and it's creation itself, the feminine energy, and then the masculine is the analog, the critical.
Right. Right. So I mean, for those that's not following us to follow us, but too many people, especially males, have too much feminine energy in them in order to create these wins, and they want things. They want it, hence the participation. You win, male energy. You win. There is no participation trophy. You don't get a participation trophy in life. Either you win or you win. You win or you lose. Not really lose. I look at it as a lesson. You either win or you learn. Mm-hmm. Look at it like that. That's how I look at it. I don't really lose. I learn. All right, I learn. Boom. Let me do this better next time. The problem is when the lessons there, we rather wallow in the lesson and become emotional over the lesson.
Yeah. And just putting it in a daily perspective too, if you're having a bad day, like to have a winning mentality, you take that bad day and you turn it around. Even if it's a horrible day, nothing's going your way, everything's not going right. But if you think about having that winning mindset, like, okay, yeah, maybe I had a bad day, but I made the most of that bad day,
Right.
And so then it turns into a good day. And even
go ahead.
I was going to say, even in the world circumstances right now, with everyone who is having a little of rough luck, as you would say, just metaphorically,
Mm-hmm.
People who are just not having a good time. If you just think about it as like, hey, it's going to get better. I'm going to put the work in. I'm going to do this and do that. Those bad days, you really do learn something big from those experiences. And like you said, those at that very beginning, the losers turn into the winners. So if you keep on dwelling on the bad things that happen, then that's the loser mentality and not the winner mindset.
Right. Also, what is it? Idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you were busy and you were goal oriented and you write down your goals or what you want to get accomplished every day, you don't have time to be emotional and dwell on a loss. You're so busy, you're accomplishment driven, and you're on to the next task. So real quickly, Zoe Williams said the one of the things I'm living by in 2021. He said anytime his money get funny, he look at his calendar 90 days earlier, and he see that nothing was there. So, you know, what I took that as is that when you don't maximize your 16, we have 16 hours every day to maximize our lives and write our story. Think about it. What's going to happen between that dash? We're writing this dash right now between our born date and our death date. What will your dash say when? And that's what we're doing. Do you want to see sleep? I slept and I cried about all the losses and I didn't do anything. Or you're going to write something prolific in that dash, because all of us, you're going to have these two bookends.
Yep. No one can escape it.
No one can escape it. So what are you going to do to write your dash and to maximize your 16 hours that you got every day? Is sitting around drinking, farting, and you know, you know, is that, can you pass that along? Will that be talked about?
And you know, I think you posted something on Instagram a few weeks ago, and it had a compare and contrast chart, and it's like winners do these things, and you listen like read books, set goals, etc., etc., etc. Then it had the losing mindset, watched too much TV, gossiped about people, you know, slept too much, all these things. And I looked at that, I'm like, oh, that's a really good chart. You know, people should actually be looking at that, because it actually classifies what it takes to have that winning mindset.
Right. Winners are activity driven, accomplishment driven. Losers like to tell the story. It's a feeling thing. I like to tell a story, and I'm trying to get the same feel cheaper. I'm trying to get somebody, oh yeah, oh, you know, that's a cheap feel, as opposed to that accomplishment, lifting that Lombardi. Then nobody could take it away. Everything else is subjective. It's a flip a coin, you know. So by you telling this story, you have a bunch of stories at the end of your life, as opposed to documented wins. And then with that win, most of the time that wins comes financial success. What side do you want to be on?
Yeah, I think about it a lot too, like YouTube. I think we talk about this quite often, you know, like when you were talking right there, the first thing that popped in my mind was history, you know,
Right.
You know,
Right.
writing the story.
His
Writing the story of the winners, you know,
right.
And that's how it's been since the beginning of time, you know.
Right. The winners write the story. So are you going to feel, do you want to be in that number? Are you going to ball up in the ball and feel sorry for yourself? And the thing is like this, and I want to say this, I said this on a previous podcast. It's not immediate. It's not instant. It's not microwave. Brady, his whole life has been preparing for these moments. And each moment, the stakes are higher and higher. It gets harder and harder. He's aging and aging.
Yep.
So he couldn't have won the 7th without the first 6. So people want to fast forward the movie or skip the chapters, go to the end of the book. It can't happen.
Yeah, because think about it. Like he actually did it. You know, he got those 7 championships. You know,
right. You can't take that away from him. The stories are objective. Somebody could call BS, and most of the time you're exaggerating on the stories. You're making yourself feel good. Mm-hmm. You're licking your wounds. So the stories are not can't compare to the actual wins. And you know it. Everybody knows it.
Yep.
It's just something it's a coping mechanism so you can sleep at night.
Yeah.
You remix the event in your head so you could sleep at night.
And it's actually crazy if people would listen to the show and they actually think about what you just said. It's that coping mechanism. You know,
right.
That is what a lot of people do, especially like right now, the present day. It's a big problem about how people get stagnated, is they rather cope with the ideas that are in their head instead of putting them on paper, as you would say.
Well, or put them in, expressing them into fruition. Mm-hmm. Do something about it. You want to change the world, change it. You see, What do you think we're doing right now? This is all record. These vlogs, these podcasts are all record. These people listen to us. You know, not only do that, we spent 12 hours yesterday volunteering.
Yep.
We put this into action. I could have did 101 things yesterday with my time.
Yeah. And I'm wearing a shirt right now as pure sarcasm. I just think it's funny. It says "not today."
Right. So
it's sarcasm. That's why I like it.
So I mean, that's the thing, man. We spent 12 hours, got up at 7:30 yesterday from 7:30 to 6:30 to volunteer my time. You see, so I mean, you got to live it. You got to walk it like you talk it. You know, it's only. I don't believe in YOLO. You only live once. I mean, you only. You know, I believe you're gonna. Huh?
I said it's complicated. I know.
Right. You're gonna live until you learn.
Literally, you know,
Literally.
That's how it works.
Yeah, so you're gonna live until you learn. So whether you learn now or learn later, you will learn. So why not do it now? So again, we're almost at the 30 mark. We're a little bit, we ran a little bit over, but think about it, man. The final thought is this, man. Which side do you want to be on? Make a decision right now. The solution, the ending solution segment is stop right now. If you're on this side and you suffered more losses than you have gains, stop it. Just stop it. Just alchemize what you lost. Take it and express it in a positive way. Express it in progression. Don't express it in a bunch of stories. Or don't just sit there and do nothing about it. You know, and then the best, like my mentor always say, Mattress Mac, work is life's greatest therapy. So if you sit there and let it fester, you sit in your room and stare at the wall, it's never going to, just like a broken leg or a torn ACL, if you just sit there, it's going to take a lot longer to recover than if you exercise that thing out and grow the muscles around it. And you got to work in order to heal.
Yep. And my final thought too is to have that winning mindset. It does take work. You know, I like to think about it as the trendy mind, body, and soul. You know, you got to work mentally, you got to work physically, and you got to work spiritually. And if you can master those things, you'll always be a winner. You know, because you have the heart for it. You know, it's in the center.
So let's go ahead and wrap it up. Again, if you like what we're doing, go ahead and hit us up. Cash App, the Power of Ownership. Steven has his own Cash App, Steven C1234. Again, stop renting. Start getting in that winning mentality. You know, instead of it's crazy that we will say we'll get turned down for $1,000 a month house loan and then go ahead and spend $1,400 a month in rent. Blows my mind. Again, it's that mentality. Stop losing. Start winning. You know, go to www.applywithb. Start getting your mortgage today. www.billionaireloanofficer.com. If you, it blows my mind too. People want to become successful, but don't. They want to do it by osmosis. You know, how does that work? I want to be Michael Phelps, but I never actually swim. It looks cool. And I don't eat what does Michael Phelps eat? 10,000 calories a day, and you know, and this burns all of it off. But you know, I think I could do what he does, but I don't actually put in. I don't get the coaching. I don't actually work out like that. Blows my mind. If you want to get better, you have to actually do things to actually for that to happen. You know, hire a sales trainer, hire a personal trainer, hire a coach. Even Denzel, he's one of the best actors ever. He has an acting coach. You know, so I'll leave that like that. Give me a call, 832-775-8357. You can call me 24/7 at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. And Steven is Steven_Contreras_90 on social media. And go ahead and visit our sponsor, www.houstonCondoSales.com. And with that, I'm going to say, don't forget that God is a verb. A verb. Action is something you do, not something you worship. Well, it's something you worship because it's something you do. You know what I mean? And personal responsibility is your only savior. Respond to your abilities. And with that, You want to say peace?